So user Maycall2346 posted, Future of the Lore. I believe Blizzard has stated in a few interviews that the lore is going to take a more cosmological route, and we are going to start dealing with some seriously big characters and all that jazz, but should we? Well, first and foremost, I'd need to see these interviews. I've seen every single one of the interviews, and while Blizzard have definitely spoken about the larger cosmological story of World of Warcraft, and that there is a larger cosmological story, they've never really hinted at the fact that we're going to be taking that on in any meaningful way, because it could just be that they're taking us on, right? We stay on Azeroth, but we're being attacked by some kind of outside force, which has happened before. Legion is a prime example of this. So many things. I will admit, as much as I enjoy, and by the way, on to your question here, Michael, of should we? Yes. Yes. Yes, we should. I will admit, as much as I enjoy the exploration behind the veil, it also kind of takes away from the mystery of the game. I've always been a strong believer that the main plot for each expansion should be simple. An uncovered landmass here, a baddie taking over the world there, someone invading the planet, and while each of these plots develop, then there should also be snippets of what happens behind the scenes and motivations behind characters. More of a show, don't tell, rather than, yeah, here is the afterlife and this is exactly how it works. Yeah, this applies to you too. When you die, you'll go through this process even though you literally saved us all. So I personally do not agree at all with his sentiment here. I think Blizzard has always done an amazing job, even when we take on the big bads of the universe, right? Blizzard has always done an amazing job of leaving us with more questions than answers. End of Legion, I had so many questions it was unreal. I still have questions. End of BFA, did anyone truly go at the end of BFA and say, oh, this makes ton sense. I understand exactly what happened here. No. No one left BFA thinking, all right, that answers the whole story of World of Warcraft in the future, right? It just doesn't happen. He's very, like, I get what Michael is trying to say, but I think he's saying it completely wrong. I also think his thought processes are completely wrong in that you can't have a story where, you know, you are just giving simple plots with very simple resolutions to them and a little bit of you know, meat behind the expansion. It will just not work, and I think it will serve to piss off a lot of people, especially people like myself that want to know the story. Besides, I think knowing something like the Shadowlands exist, and this is why I'm almost certain Michael does not speculate about World of Warcraft, because if they did, they would know that the Shadowlands has so many question marks around it. Some of them actually being, is the Shadowlands actually the Realms of Death? And this is all things that, thanks to the way Blizzard tells the story, is questions we can ask. Alright, so let's continue. I was hoping BFA was going to be a simpler type of expansion, just a massive war between the Alliance and the Horde. Yes, because that is always so fucking interesting. The fourth war, no old gods, just the two factions reclaiming territory. Yeah, because that's exactly what everyone wants. No one gives a fuck about those expansions. In fact, I remember when Blizzard said Horde v Alliance, most people were going, oh my god, here we go again. Like, look, it doesn't work. That entire idea, the fact that the Alliance and the Horde is broken means that an expansion like this just wouldn't work. It can't work, right? Because, well, how does it work? We know that we're not actually fighting one another. We know that we're going to make peace at some point. They had the perfect opportunity to go zone by zone through the Eastern Kingdoms of Kalimdor, revamping them and making them modern. Yet for some reason, Blizzard feels like each expansion gets 3 patches and then we have to move on. I don't know why I read it in that voice, but that's sort of the tone of his message to me. It's sort of like he's just gonna throw shit out there to do and then just go, well, they clearly could have done it. Well, they clearly could not have. So first and foremost, how many patches would Michael, how many patches would you realistically want in a single expansion? Like, just throw out a number. Because if it's less than 20, I don't see how they even finish the fucking... I don't see how they even finish Kalimdor or the Eastern Kingdom's zone revamps. Less than 20 can't be done. Can't be done. They will not be able to do it. Revamping zones is a hell of a lot of work. Also because you can't just revamp and just upgrade the graphics. You have to revamp the entire thing. There's then also what Pumanki just said, even though I just quickly saw the dislike in Kata, that is a very real issue, right? When you have an expansion like Cataclysm, where you're not leaving Azeroth, you're not discovering any new worlds, most people feel cheated out of it. Most people feel like they've been cheated. Where's the new shit? We don't just want old shit. We don't just want to be on the old Azeroth. We want something new. So, Michael, I'm in very much disagreements at this point. So let's see if things can turn around from here. In summary, I'd like to have an expansion with a simpler story and no world-ending threats. What's the fucking point then? What would be the point of no world-ending threat? How are you gonna sell me on this expansion then if there isn't some kind of world-ending threat that we have to deal with? I genuinely sometimes feel like a lot of people who play the game just hang out in the main cities and fucking RP all day. Like, I can see Michael walking around Stormwind City as a guard and feeling fulfilled by the game. Like, genuinely thinking they're keeping the peace. Like, the NPCs are only really staying in their lane because they're fucking patrolling, right? It's as if these people genuinely don't want any sort of conflict. This is a story, and stories require conflict. Most of the time, stories require world-ending level threats. If you've watched any movie ever that is an action type of movie, there is a threat in that movie that is, if not the end of the world level threat, definitely the end of the protagonist's world level threat, right? That's the only way you can really sell the story. I don't see how you could do it any other way. I genuinely don't. So, in summary, Michael, I disagree heavily. An expansion where the Defiers Brotherhood teams up with the Horde and takes over Stormwind. Yes, because that makes sense. And we have a raid tier attempting to win it back. This only happens after Greymane launches an invasion on Gilneas and Lordaeron side by side with the Night Elves seeking revenge. This is what BFA should have been. Sorry for the rant. I believe that those things can also be there, except of course for the Defiers Brotherhood somehow deciding, hey, now we're gonna work with the fucking now we're gonna work with the Horde, and the Horde somehow goes, cool. Let's do this. I mean, except for the massive lore issues within that first suggestion, let's pretend they don't exist and we go, fine. Those things can exist as well, but without a serious world level threat to deal with on the side of it, those things fall flat. I do not see those things at all pushing the story forward in any meaningful way. So I'm gonna go with no, Michael. What is your TLDR? I don't want to fight for I don't want to fight the very creators of the universe, and would rather we just fight each other while we learn about who these creators are. How then? Oh, I just killed that guy. Oh, look, a page telling me something about the creators. Back to killing the other guys. The fuck are you gonna do that then? I'd say there's some truth in what Michael is saying here. There is some truth, right? We do need to get back to a place where the Horde and the Alliance is fighting one another, right? We do need to do that. But that can't be what it's about. That should be in the background. That should be in the just sort of an afterthought of the full expansion. It shouldn't be the main thing. In my opinion, the whole fighting the Horde and the Alliance has become very much watered down. I'll tell you what, I watched, when was this? Lilianda, are you still in stream? That if you go high, everything in future, which is lower than gods, first ones in galactical powers will be boring. Not necessarily, Zero Cox. Not necessarily. There are ways to make even ordinary things quite interesting. But I was watching one of Lilianda's streams probably a month ago at this point. But she was doing PvP in World of Warcraft, and not at any point did I hear anyone in the group going, you know what, fuck these Alliance motherfuckers. No one gives a shit. The people that PvP just PvP because it's fun, and it's 10v10, right? For the most part, they don't give a shit who it is that they're killing, as long as it's someone from the enemy team that they are killing. They're good. So the whole faction v faction storyline, it's dead. It doesn't really resonate with players anymore, and unless Blizzard can do something major that pushes that as a story, I genuinely do not see it coming back ever. My personal opinion, I want to see more world level threats. I want to see more gods. I want us to turn into the god slayers of the universe. That's what I would love to see. But of course, what do you guys think? Chat, where do you want to go with this?